Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I just want to do a quick little video going over this tool here from Mr. Hobby. This is the Mr. Hobby Mr. Line Chisel, part of their G Tools series here. And as you can see, if you look up closely, this is specifically the USA Gundam Store labeled version of this. So this, of course, you can get at USA Gundam Store. And basically what this is just a line chisel, as you might expect from the name. And you can see over here, this is a 0.3 millimeter edge on this. So you got two spare blades. You got the one there on the chisel itself, and then you got two extras for, if and when eventually your little hook chisel on the end of there is going to snap and break at some point. Likely going to happen. I don't know exactly how long, when that's what we're going to test and find out, see how strong it feels, but you got a couple of spares there just in case. On the back here we got some information in Japanese and in English, so that'll just tell you just kind of the basics, how to use that. You want to hold it straight upright at a 90-degree angle and then pull it along at around a 45-60 degree angle like that, and don't eat it. That seems like common sense, but So opening this up here, we've got, let's see, anything else inside of here? Yeah, there's a little bit more here. So if the pressure applied to the side of the blade laterally, the blade can be broken. And if it's a bit deep into the part and twisted, the blade can be tripped or broken. So yeah, just be careful with it, obviously. How to sharpen the cutting edge. The cutting edge can be sharpened, again, with a waterproof paper. Place waterproof paper of 800 or 1000. I think that they mean sanding paper. 800 or 1000 grit sanding paper, and a solid flat surface, and put it gently, and then just sharpen it like that, as you guys can see there. But let's take a look at the tool itself. So in the back end of the tool, there's a little hole. So you can put a little loop something in there, just, I guess, to make it easier to grab onto that or whatever. And it's got one flat side, so that's good. It's not completely round. Having the one flat side means that it won't roll off your desk or something when you put it down. So that's nice. Got the flat side there with the USA Gundam Store logo printed on it. We got this little plastic cap here on the end. If we can pull that off there. There you go. You guys can see that. The actual handle itself feels like a really hard plastic. It's quite solid. And then you got just that bit in there. So I'm guessing to change that out, let's see, looking at the instructions, I'm guessing this hole here is to do with changing out the bit on that, because you're not just gonna be able to just pull that out of there. But I'm not exactly sure how if you just need to like stick a pin in there or something and to be able to pop out the blade on this. I'm not really too sure. Hang on. Well, here's one of the extra blades here, and you can see it's got a little flat end there at the back that's gonna help hold it in place. But you can see there's just a little hook end on that. So at the moment, I'm not sure, so I'll find out how that's used to change the blade, and I'll post that, or I'll pin the comment for that, or if someone else knows, I'll pin that comment. But what I want to do is try this out here on this part. This is a leg part for the Modelock Fujin kit, a kit that I reviewed like years and years and years ago, and I just recently pulled it off my shelf, and I was just doing some sanding on that because this guy wanted to quickly paint it up. And there's a big seam line on here, and so in the process of removing that seam line, the seam line kind of goes through some of these line details. So I just want to test this out to see how good this could be at just re-scribing out some of these details here that got kind of sanded away in the process of removing this seam line here. Seems like this could be pretty good for that. If you wanted to use this for as like a regular adding panel lines to kits, as like you see people adding panel lines to just add extra detail to kits, not sure this is really going to be necessarily the best tool for that. You might want to stick with just a standard chisel. This one seems like it's probably better for just doing stuff like this, or re-scribing out lines. Sometimes you have like a resin kit or something like that as well too, where the panel line's not that deep, where you kind of already have a little bit of a line there. This is basically just to kind of help clear that back out again. Seems like probably what this is going to be more suited for. But as always, when it comes to using a chisel, you want to go over it the first few times with like hardly applying any pressure at all. You don't need to do a lot. Basically what you're doing is just letting the weight of the tool just sort of start your line off. Because if you start off applying too much pressure, or really much of any pressure at all, you're gonna find it's going shoom, like way off to the side, and it's really hard to hold one of these very steady. And I've seen people do it, but it takes a lot of practice to get used to just being able to like do something with like a really solid hand. So to start off just doing it really lightly, and then just kind of work your way. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, but eventually it'll just get that line scribed out perfectly again for you. And after a little bit, there you can see how that's looking much better. And so I might still have a little bit of gluing and like resanding to do here on that seam line. I'll see once we get some primer on that. But at the moment, you can see like this one that doesn't have the lines rescribed on there. Obviously, it's going to be a much better look for that, just getting those lines back out. Now, I do want to try this as just a regular scribing tool, and like I said, I think you're probably better off using just a regular chisel, but if you wanted to use this for actually scribing panel lines and stuff as well too, I'll give this a try. So to get some tape, and we'll try just scribing a simple line here on this kind of shield part of the Fujin kit. So again, with that tape in place, I'm just going over this a couple of times at first, really super lightly. And you can see how that's already set in there. Now I'm just going to go over that. I don't really need the tape on there anymore at this point. The line is there well enough that the chisel will stay in place. But I'm going to go over that a few times just to make it a little bit deeper, to make sure that it looks like it kind of matches about the depth of this one here. And a little bit of just some light sanding to check our work. Get rid of that with an old toothbrush. And there you go, you can see our panel line on there is looking pretty good. So there you go, guys, that should just about do it here for the USA Gundam Store branded Mr. Line Chisel here from Mr. Hobby. Pretty cool, definitely a worthwhile option if you're looking to get into doing some simple panel lining. Now, I'm not sure if this is available in other sizes other than 0.3 millimeters, but 0.3 millimeters is a pretty good standard size. If you only had one chisel, that's something that a lot of people will ask if you're just looking at getting into chiseling panel lines, things like that. What's a good size to get? I think 0.3 is a pretty good standard size to get for that. I mean, for something larger like master grade, or especially perfect grade, you might want something a little bit larger depending on the kind of details you want to add, but 0.3 I think is probably pretty good. So definitely check this out if you guys are interested. The link, of course, will be down in the video description below, and you can use my coupon code there as well too, ZakuAurelius10, to save 10% off of this and anything there on the site, so check that out. A lot of other really cool tools on there as well, and some more tool reviews on the way for you guys, so just make sure you're subscribed and just stay tuned for more. I got some more stuff that I'm looking forward to checking out here in the near future. So thank you guys so much for watching today, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye guys.